So how does skin work? In this video, I am going to explain the math behind rendering skin, how light and color works, and give some tips and hopefully explain in full details. First, I am going to set the rule of how I choose my colors. Basically, if you have a lighter skin tone, other than just moving to the dark to darken it, I am going to move it to the red. This goes the same to darker skin. Like you see here, I desaturated it, then shifted it to more reds, so it won't be just shades of gray. Shading does kinda work the same. I wouldn't really use a black, I would use more desaturated reds and go for yellows when doing lights. This goes the same with lighter skin and more tan skin. It's because some colors are naturally more lighter the more you go to yellows, for example, and some colors are naturally darker. It's more obvious in grayscale, but it's helpful to keep in mind. I'm going to apply a skin map to my drawing. If you don't know, skin maps are basically those small color changes in your drawing. It's for where the blood vessels are. Blue is for reflected light, but this changes depending on your environment. Like if you have your second light is a red, you will have reflected red. If your second color is a green, that's gonna be a green. Yellow is there isn't as much of blood vessels like in the forehead, and do make sure they are noticeable but not as noticeable. I am going to define where my light is coming from. Then I'll use something like the arrowhead. It's basically just the planes of the head, just so I can know where my shadows are going to be. Keep in mind that lighter skin, our form is defined by the shadow, but for darker skin, it's more defined by the light. This is what gives us a 3D look to our drawing. Like you see here, I'm adding a light, not just adding a shadow. Side note, if you don't want your subject or painting or person to not look out of place, I would color pick my background color and apply it with a multiply layer over my drawing. And tan skin is a mix of using light and shadow to add form. It's basically the midway of darker and lighter skin. I added them little gradient on those shadows and lights just to make them less flat. Something that will bring your drawing from good to better is having good edge control. Basically, a lot of beginners will have their edges all blended or too sharp. It's good to have a balance between all of them and to know where and when to choose. For example here, the edge is more of a sharp edge, so you won't need blending or a little blending at least. But something like the thighs or so is more of a round edge, so it will need to be blended. This helps describe the form better. Make sure you have more diverse edges, some rounded, some hard. For example, the cheeks, the thighs and everything will be more round, more blended, and something like the knees, some of the neck won't be as much blended. Color pick my shadow color, darken it a little bit, and add it all around these edges. This happens because when a light reflects to an object, it reflects back from the environment back to the shadow, making the edge darker and the part of the shadow lighter. This is what we call a core shadow, and the light reflected we call reflected light. Make sure that you saturate the color a little bit when darkening it, so it won't look too dull. The reflected light will pick some of the environment colors. Like here the table is red, so some of the reflected light will be grayish red. I'm going to add it later on in another step. For darker skin, make sure the core shadow is behind the light layer, because I don't want them to be over it. For now, everything I do is gonna be under the layer of the light for the darker skin one. It will just look like a mess. Tan skin is the same as white skin. I'm going to lock the shadow layer and just add all the core shadow in the edges and make sure it does not go to the light parts. The next step now, just like I said before, I'm going to add the reflected light. Something I always do is color pick where I want the reflected light to be, shift it a little to the blues, move it to the grays and lighten it. This happens because reflected light will be lighter, and since it's two colors on top of each other, it's gonna be a grayish. I'm gonna move it a little to the blues to get the blue in. If I want a purple, I will do the same but shift it to the purples. The color won't make sense alone, but it will make sense as a whole. Or you could get your blues, add a transparent layer on top of the shadows and color pick it. This will have the same result just like I did before when I shifted to the grays and the blues. Basically it's just a grayish red, but when it's gray and top of another red, like the skin here, it's gonna show as blue. Many colors don't look the same when in front of other colors. Like some will look lighter, some will look like a different color, just like here. So always paint it as a big picture instead, then go to the small details of the light and other. And always compare the color you made to the color you're gonna put it in, because it makes very big difference. This goes the same with darker skin, but if your color is like a red tone of dark skin, I'm going to move it up to the yellows and greens because that's the closer to blue. But if it's more like the picture to the left, where it's more of like red, I'm going to move it to the purple because that's the closest to a blue. And do the same, make it lighter, make it more gray. In front of other colors, it will look like a blue. A common mistake people make is making the reflected light lighter than the light parts. Like for example here, it should be lighter than only the shadow part, but darker than the light part. I'm going to apply a very desaturated orange and red to those edges of my shadows. This happens because skin is very transparent material. The more the harder the light, the more the red. The less, the more the orange. And this goes the same to all skin tones. But for darker skin, those orange and red tones won't show as much since darker skins are made to absorb light. So it won't show as much as lighter skin tones. Darker skin tones are made for hotter climates, that's why they don't absorb as much light. They reflect more light, so it will show the blues and every color will show more. And tan skin is gonna be a mix of both. And I don't just add saturated oranges. I color pick the color, then shift it to more saturated orange. And before the last step, I'm gonna choose desaturated browns and reds, add them all those small shadows and big shadows, like under the neck, under the nose, under the lips, and all of those contact points. Also hide your highlight layer, or at least lower the opacity. Those shadows should always describe the form by themselves. If they can't, then you should add more shadows. For example, if I turn off my highlight layer, there should be a clear separation between the head and the neck. If there isn't as clear of separation, you should darken the shadows and add more. Then you turn off your layer, like a highlight layer or sketch layer. Then put the shadows on all the parts that aren't as clear. Your whole drawing should be readable even without line art or a sketch. It should be able to hold itself by the rendering. And lastly, I'm painting my midtones, all the small shadows and parts, refining all my drawing and fixing some small mistakes. I'm also painting over my line art and adding all those highlights and all of those small details that aren't as noticeable but still noticeable, like highlights in the corner of the eyes, the nose, and everywhere. I just keep turning my line art layer on and off to see all the small mistakes and fix them. In this stage, everything I'm drawing is on a singular layer. If you want to keep them separate, you can, but it's better everything in one layer so they can all blend in together. Just finish everything. I paint over my line art. I fix her clothes. I fix all the small parts, her violin, and all the other things. And I'm still fixing some things.